why do you think Polonius would send someone after Laertes to kind of spy on him or like spread rumors?
It seems dirty work.
What?
Dirty work. So you think that he was trying to like kind of create a bad reputation for his son, maybe?
Like, to help his son survive in the real world. Because, like, his son is still in school, so he's still learning stuff. But everybody knows that in school you don't learn about how real life actually works.
Yeah,
You have to go out there and
life experience,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess that's what he's trying to have Ronaldo do for Laertes.
And I think because this part can be taken so many ways, I think it could also be like seen as maybe Polonius is trying to see maybe if these faults that he's putting on his son are real. Like if he's sending his servants to go talk with people who know about him, maybe he's trying to see, oh, say that he has all these faults and the people might tell you, oh yeah, totally, or really, I've never heard of that. So maybe it could be like he's trying to find out his son's faults by kind of, he's putting him out there, but it's not like always true, and he's kind of trying to test the water on that one.
I think for that's really changed over the years. Because, like, nowadays, parents wants to keep us safe and inside. And, like, they won't let us do anything until, like, we're older. But, like, he just, like, sets it out and, like, has, like, horrible things be said about him.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that's similar from, you know, how being the overprotected thing from now and then, you know how Ophelia, Polonius was really protective over her because, like, you know how she was talking about Hamlet wanting to be with him and all that, and he was like, no, you can't, and then saying, like, all those, like, kind of, like, disrespecting her in a way because she was, like, talking about Hamlet, and then he was like, don't see him anymore, and all that, and then later she played him, and then just... Yeah.
And, like, even if Ophelia was kind of unsure of her feelings for him, so it seemed like even if she did like Hamlet, her father didn't really give her a choice.
Yeah.
So she might have been a little reluctant to kind of accept it right away, but in the end she still ends up obeying her father, which is one of the primary things of what happened back then is like, you know, you obeyed no matter what, so even if they objected, it's still like, eventually they gave in because they're their parents, what can they do, really?
Yeah, during that time, girls are supposed to be obedient and follow every rule.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I guess if she doesn't, and if Polonius doesn't put her back in his place, like, when the world sees her, they'll be like, oh, her parents are, like, bad things.
Yeah. That's what, like, the view of olden days was. Nowadays, I wouldn't say parents are less strict. I just think that maybe some parents might be have gotten a little more lenient because the teenagers have gotten they are objecting much more. They're more like, you know, you can't really rule me. I own my own life, kind of thing. And even though that's not always completely true, like the parents still own you for the first couple years of your life, and yet teenagers nowadays are like, you know, you don't own me. I can do whatever I want, kind of thing. So it's like we've kind of lost what happened in the past. It's like that way of like respect towards our parents and stuff.
And he's like talking about, oh earth, like all you host of heaven, oh earth, what else? Like what else can you throw my way? Because even though his dead father comes back to him and answers a lot of questions, Hamlet is still like, oh, now he's giving me a quest. I can't even grieve for him. Instead, I have to do this long quest.
Yeah, because, like, there's so many bad things happening to Hamlet already. He lost his father that he looked up to, and then his mother got married, like, a month and a half after he died. And now he's about to lose Ophelia, too.
Yeah, so I really think he's just talking about, like, oh, hold my heart, like, I can't take any more, you know?
Well, also throughout the Ghost's speech, he's telling Hamlet, like, not to worry that much for him, and instead he's trying to get him to do the act of murdering.
That was bad.
I worded that so badly.
Alright, and okay.
Hey, if your father told you to avenge them and it goes, would you guys actually do it?
Yes.
No.
I would have to.
Because my dad would probably be like, LOL, I don't like this guy, you should kill him. Yeah, he definitely murdered me. I'm like, no, I saw you fall down the stairs. It's like, no, he killed me.
Joy.
This
is not a good conversation.
It is good. Okay, because then what I'm thinking is, like, wouldn't that guy try to have the like, in modern day, wouldn't people, like, try to get the police to investigate the case instead of actually killing out the stuff? Actually, the people that actually kill out is, like, mafia people and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this is Shakespeare. This is, like, not...
We're supposed to compare it to modern day.
The Italian mafia.
So then, in Hamlet's time or Shakespeare's time that he wrote this, the justice system wasn't as efficient as ours today. Like, in the olden times, killing the king would be, like, a huge crime. And if you think about it, nobody actually, like, looked into his death. So then Claudius got away with murder.
So the justice system thing. I was thinking that Hamlet kind of represents that justice, you know? That crime that was committed. Hamlet's the justice, right? And then Hamlet's ghost, because the ghost is trying to get Hamlet to murder Claudius, right? So the ghost kind of represents like the witness, like that's the one, that's the criminal, like charge him. And it's kind of like this whole court system going. And even though it's the father and the son, right? It's still that the ghost is helping the son figure out his murder. So they kind of link together.
Yeah, and like even though Hamlet like heard from the ghost himself, he's like, well, I need evidence for myself. And he even went as far as to like make that whole play thing happen to test Claudius to get evidence. So he didn't just go full vigilante. He actually did set up a sort of justice like system.
Yeah, with Hamlet prolonging like when to like finally kill Claudius, I think it's because like he still have all that like grief with him. I mean, is it a really good idea to tell somebody to kill somebody right now when you're like really sad and depressed? I don't think so.
Well, it's the father-son thing. It's like the father's like, avenge me. Like, you just can't let him get away with it. He killed me. He killed your father. So it's kind of like the father's talking to the son as an adult now. Because instead of treating him like a child, like his mom or Claudius, the father's now like, oh, Hamlet is a 30-year-old adult. He can offend for himself. So he's the one saying, you are in charge now. You're in charge, and you gotta help me with the murder of Claudius.
Well, even in the scene, the father says, if thou chooses to pursue us this act, he's still giving him an option. Granted, he sort of wants him to take a certain path, but the option's still there, and it's up to Hamlet to make that decision. So, I mean, like, he makes a pretty adult decision of, like, to take it on, and then, like, you know, like we said, the whole justice thing.
Yeah, what? That's
I
it.
think that's it.
Cut it, Joy.